All right, question 11. We have a piecewise graph and we want to work backwards and write the equation. And so since both of these equations are linear, one of the, I guess, most simple things that we can do is start with the y-intercept and try to write the equation of one of these functions, look at the domain, and then we can try to match up and or eliminate some possible wrong answers. So again, you want to look at the spacing on the graph and see what it's counting by. So it goes up to a height of 10 and looks like there's 10 tick marks between. So this is counting by 10. So we have a y-intercept of 1. So for this first part, if I were trying to work backwards and write these equations, my first equation I have, this is going to be a slope or a y-intercept of 1, and then it looks like we go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, and it goes all the way over to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this looks like 1x, or just x plus 1. So this is my first equation, and this is only working when x is less than 4. Now it could just be between 0 and 4 because we don't see any part of the graph to the left of 0, but we'll just say less than 4. We know it's less than because the open circle on the graph means it's not equal to. It strictly only goes to the left. So when x is less than 4, those are the values we get. So I'm going to look at the answer choices and see if I can eliminate or maybe identify the correct answer based on just the first part. So this is x plus 1 when we're less than 5, so I'll rule that one out. X plus 1 when we're less than 4, that one looks good. We're going to keep B. X plus 1 says greater than or equal to 4, so that's the wrong domain. And then this one says x minus 1 when we're less than 4. So based on only the first linear part of this function, we can see that B will be the correct answer. All right, so number 12, similar problem. We have a piecewise function, and this time we want to use the equation and pick out the correct graph. So there's a lot of similarities and differences in these graphs. One thing I do notice is that each graph has a horizontal line. So I'm going to look at the one in the middle. I'm going to start with that one, and that says just -1, so they should be going horizontal at -1, which it looks like most of them do, and that is going to be between 2 and 4. The endpoints are strictly like less than, in between, so those are going to be open circles, not closed. So just based on looking at the open or closed circles, I would eliminate B and C because I know that these are going to be open circles. So now the difference is going to be A or D, and I can see the position of this line is different. So if I look at what this graph is counting by, looks like it's counting by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8. Looks like they're in the same position. This graph just goes down to 8, and this one only goes to 6. So those are good position. So let's just look at one of the linear ones and see the difference here. So we have 1/2 x plus 1. That's when we are less than or equal to 2. So that's -2. So 1/2 x plus 1. So I'm going to look at these and try to figure out which one of these best match -1/2 x plus 2. And if you didn't want to do that, one of the other things you could do is just take a value and plug it in. And if you plug in a number and it matches or it doesn't, we know exactly which one. So when we say less than -2, I will pick a number that is smaller than -2. We could even use -2 because it's less than or equal to. So let's just say 4, for example. Let's say we want to use 4. So I'm going to start with this this other equation, 1/2 x plus 1, and I'm going to plug in -4. So I'm going to do 1/2 of -4 plus 1. So this is going to give me -2 plus 1, which will give me -1. So when I go to -4 on one of those graphs, if it gives me -1, that tells me it matches. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry, didn't realize this was off the screen. But I'm going to plug in -1, and if it matches up, we're going to be good. Or -4, sorry. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go -2, -4, and it should be right here at 1. It doesn't match on this graph. I'm going to look at D. So I'm going to go -2, -4. When I go down, it's at 1 even right there. So it looks like D is going to be our correct answer.